Hey everyone, welcome back to today's video. So for today's video, we are testing out a brand new foundation. I'm so excited about this foundation. I love trying foundations. It's literally my favorite makeup thing to apply. I love foundations. You can change your whole look by the kind of foundation you wear. You know, if you want a more glowy look or a more matte look, I just love everything about foundations. That's my thing. So I'm super excited about today's video because we're testing out the brand new Hourglass Vanish Liquid Foundation. And I love the Hourglass brand. It's one of my absolute favorite makeup brands. I love their powders. I love their blushes, their bronzers. That brand just makes incredible products. And I have tried the Vanish Stick Foundation, which I remember liking it, but it's not something I ever reach for because I don't like applying a stick type of foundation. That's just not my thing. So it's just the product that I never reach for. So when I heard they're coming out with this liquid foundation, I was like, yes, Hourglass, I'm gonna totally try this. I can't wait to test this out. So I got a little sample of it actually in my last Sephora order. It's not even out yet. It comes out later this week, but I was excited to get the sample first because this is a foundation I just would have bought straight off the bat and just bought the whole big size anyway. So when I saw I could get a sample, I was like, oh yes, perfect. Let's test it out together. Let's see if it's really worth spending the $56 on the full size. It's gonna be a $56 foundation, which is a little bit more pricey. So we wanna know if it's good. So on the Sephora website, it is up on the website already. You just can't purchase it yet. But like I said, it's $56. It says that it's going to be a highly concentrated liquid foundation designed to deliver instant full coverage with just a half a pump. No primer needed, it says. It says that it's gonna be full coverage, it's gonna be a natural finish, it's good for normal, dry, combination, oily skin types, so that's everyone. It also says that, let's see, it's supposed to apply like a second skin, creating a smooth and flawless complexion. Light reflecting microspheres blur and create a soft focused finish. The non-comedogenic formula is waterproof, transfer proof, and sweat proof. So that all sounds good. Like I said, I have high hopes for this foundation just because I love Hourglass so much. I feel like this can't go wrong. I feel like their foundation has to be a winner, but you never know. You never know. So I'm excited to try this out. It's actually the weekend when I'm filming this. Both of my kids are at birthday parties right now, so they're not home. Brian's not home. I'm here by myself. I'm like, oh, perfect time. Let's turn on the camera. Let's play with some makeup together and test out a new foundation. Why not? So I'm going to zoom you guys in. Let's get started. Let's see how this applies. And then I will go throughout my day and we'll definitely do a check-in at the end of the night to really see how this foundation holds up because that's the true test. So I'm going to zoom you guys in. Let's get to applying. Okay, so let's get started. Oh, did you guys see? I got more ear piercings done just the other day. I absolutely love it. I was so scared to do it. I was thinking it was gonna hurt so bad because you know when you're 5 years old or 6, when did I get it done? Maybe 7 years old. I remember it hurting so bad, and then I got them just done the other day and it didn't hurt at all. I was like, I used to be a wussy. Anyway, I absolutely love them. So here's the little sample, just this little guy right here. This is in the shade beige. It only gave you a couple different options of shades for the sample, obviously, so I don't even know if it's gonna be the exact correct shade for me, but that's okay. Like the description of the foundation said, it said no primer was needed and that a little bit goes a long way. But what I wanna do is I want to use primer on one side of my face and then no primer on the other so that we can really see if it's truly no primer necessary. So my primer of choice lately has been this Cover FX, the blurring primer plus pore minimizer. I really like this primer a lot. So I'm going to use this on just half my face today. It comes out in a little tint and it just really does minimize pores and just blur the skin and smooth the skin. And I really like it under makeup. So I'm just going to take this just on one side. I'm even going to go on my nose just a little bit. And then take it up on the forehead, just on the side. I also have two methods of application here today. The damp beauty blender, and this is a new Sephora foundation brush that I just kind of picked up. I wanted to try. I don't know why. I haven't not used a foundation brush for so long, but I don't know. You know how you get bored sometimes and just want to try something else? I'm like, oh, this looks like a nice brush. Let's just test it out. So I'm kind of in the mood to, I don't know, test some of my foundations out with the brush just to see what the difference is. So let's do that today. One side with the beauty blender, one side with the brush, and just see, if that makes a difference as well. Like I said, my thing has always been just a beauty blender, really. Let's see how it comes out. Okay, so it comes out in this little spatula thing. I'm gonna Just kind of dab it on both sides. Let's just do one side at a time because sometimes foundation's like dry. Ooh, that might be a lot. Let's do the Beauty Blender. Oh, shoot, that's a lot. Okay, let me, you know what? Let me like wipe some of this off. I forgot that a little goes a long way, and I can tell that it does. So we're just gonna blend that out. This color is very orangey as well. So I don't think this is actually my shade. That's okay. It's blending in really nice to my skin without having to like really wipe a lot off. And I think that because it's such a different color than my skin, like it kind of looked like a lot at first, but it actually really wasn't that bad. Okay, so here is the one side of my face. You can see what it looks like with the foundation versus no foundation. It's really smooth on the skin. It blended really nice with the Beauty Blender. Let's go in with the other side and let's just test it out with a brush and just see if it's any different. I am gonna use maybe a little bit less. Let's just start there. It dries down really nice on the skin too. Like it feels smooth and not tacky or anything either. So let's just try it with the brush. This brush is actually really nice. I used it the other day with another foundation of mine, and I was impressed. This is it's a new Sephora foundation brush, and I really like it. The color is actually not that off. Once it's like all blended in, it's actually not that bad. I'll just bring it down on my neck just a little bit. I'm actually not even going anywhere today. I just have to pick up my kids later, so I'm not really even doing much today, so I don't even care if my neck matches my face today, to be honest. Okay, so there is that side done with the brush. Both sides look really nice. I feel like they actually look really similar, either the Beauty Blender or the brush. This brush does apply foundation really nice though. If you are a brush person, I like that brush a lot. But looking in the mirror, you can't tell. Like one side doesn't look more full coverage than the other, to be honest. Both sides look about the same. The foundation dries down really nice. It's not tacky, it's not sticky. It does look really smooth and nice. Let me get up close. I really am curious about, you know, like the pores and stuff, considering you don't need a primer with this. So it says, all right, so looking up close, I think the side with the primer still looks better. Less pores, a little bit more smooth, and yeah, I mean, it's not like insanely obvious or insanely that much better, but I do see a slight, you know, more perfected look with the primer side. Looking at it up close as well, I think that it's not as skin-like as I would want. I do see it on my skin a little bit. And you know how sometimes you can see it just like in little lines already and stuff? You can just see it on your skin. That's how I kind of feel right now. Like I see it a little bit and I wish it would like blend into my skin a little bit more. As for the coverage, I think it's a medium coverage foundation. I don't think it's so over the top full coverage like, again, that they say. I have foundations that are definitely more full coverage. My Oxygenetics, when I use my hands to apply that, it is like insane full coverage. So when I think full coverage, I think of that foundation because that will literally cover everything. No matter if you have, you know, skin pigmentation issues or rosacea or acne scarring, that foundation literally covers everything. This is not fully covering everything. I don't think this is full coverage. I think this is more like a medium coverage. I'm definitely not blown away by this foundation. There's many foundations that I try on that I'm like, yes, like this looks amazing. Like as soon as I put it on, I'm not feeling like that with this foundation right now. I'm not getting that like, like I'm in love, my skin is perfect. I'm just not feeling that way right now. But what I'm gonna go do is I'm gonna go do the rest of my makeup for the day, and then I'll check back in with you guys. You can see what it looks like with everything put together. And then yeah, I will go throughout my day. We'll check in at the very end of the day so we can really see how this foundation fully wears throughout the entire day and what it looks like at the very end of the day. So I'm gonna go do my makeup real quick. I'll be right back. And I'm back quick. I was literally just in the middle of doing my makeup. I started my eye makeup and I was like, oh my God, I did not do my close-up for you. So I have nothing else on my skin. Nothing's been touched other than just some eye makeup. So I want to zoom in and just give you guys a close-up of what my skin looks like with the foundation on right away. So I'm going to zoom in, let you guys see what I'm talking about. It's a little clingy. It's a little patchy. I don't want to, well, not really patchy. It's a little like I see it on certain parts of my skin and I'm like, it's not my favorite. So I'm gonna zoom you guys in. Hopefully you can see what I'm talking about. Here we go. I can see a little bit of like the foundation kind of clinging to certain patches on my skin. I can also see the foundation on my skin. I personally, when I look for foundations, no matter how full coverage they are, I want them to look like skin. This I see on my skin a little bit more than I would like, especially in just like certain areas of my face. I feel like I can really see the foundation where it's kind of like in little lines and little pores and just like, I don't know, you guys. I'm very, very picky when it comes to foundations because I have such amazing foundations that I use on a daily basis that those are like my standard. Like those are my goals. A foundation has to meet that. And as of right now, I'm like on the fence. I'm like, no, like this isn't meeting those standards of mine. It's not meeting my other foundation goals, if you will. It's just, yeah. But this foundation is like not impressing me. And I'm hoping you can kind of see what I'm talking about. I know with like lighting and cameras and just like, obviously you're not here in person, so it's hard to really see what I'm talking about when I'm looking really close at my own skin. But I'm hoping that you guys can see a little bit of what I'm talking about, where it's definitely not full coverage. It's not laying perfectly and, really beautifully on my skin. It's just like, yeah. Okay, here I am again, and now with the rest of my makeup on for the day. So this is what the foundation looks like with everything, put together for the day. It looks beautiful with everything, blush, bronzer, everything put together. It looks really nice. But to be completely honest with you guys, I am not that impressed with this foundation. I just think that it didn't go on as well as I hoped. It didn't blend into my skin as well as I hoped. When I was applying my blush and bronzer, usually I have no effort like blending them in over top of my liquid foundation, if it's a good foundation. This foundation, when I was taking my bronzer brush and, going over everything with my bronzer, it actually started to leave like little patches like when I was blending out my bronzer over top of it. So it wasn't even as smooth with my powders as my other foundations are. So all in all, right now, I mean, even though it looks great now, I had to work with it a little bit more. It didn't blend as easily. And yeah, that's just my first impressions. That's my first thought so far. It's just not what I was hoping for. And again, I love the Hourglass brand, so it kind of saddens me to say this. And, I was really hoping for the best from this, but it's not wowing me. It's not giving me that like, like foundation love that I normally get when I find like an amazing foundation, which you guys have seen. So yeah, that's just where we are right now. I'm going to go throughout my day though. I'm going to go, I got to run errands. I got a bunch of stuff I have to do. I got to go pick up my kids from their birthday parties. And then at the end of the night, before I do my skincare routine and wash my face and all that, I'm going to check back in, then give you guys my final thoughts and see how this foundation looks at the end of the night. So yeah, stay tuned guys. I'll see you then. Hey guys, I am back. So it has been, we're at 8 hours, a little over 8 hours right now since I put this foundation on. I just ate dinner. My kids are back home. It's time for me to wash my face and do this final check-in. And I'll tell you, I am ready to wash my face. I can feel the foundation on my skin at this point, and I'm like, ooh, I hate that feeling. I hate that feeling of feeling makeup on your face, and that's what I feel like. So let me just go back and just briefly tell you a couple things. So while I was going through my day, there was a couple points where I checked in on my makeup and I was like, oh, it actually looks a little bit better throughout the day. At the beginning where I felt like I had some patchy marks and just it wasn't blended perfectly, that dryness kind of overall as the day went on, kind of the makeup more melted into my skin and kind of blended and actually looked a little bit better as time went on. But then as time went on some more, the more I would look in the mirror, I felt greasy. I felt like I could see my pores. I felt like my face looked a little cakey in certain areas. Let's just pull the mirror and let's see what's happening. So if you remember, this is the side of my face. I had no primer, just like the foundation said, you don't need a primer, they said. And then this side though, I did use a primer. And just like earlier in the day when I looked in the mirror, the side where I did not use a primer, I definitely see more pores. The makeup, the foundation is more sunk into my pores. This side where I did use a primer looks still more smooth. So I definitely don't agree that you don't need a primer. I personally think that for a lot of people, you will want to wear a primer if you are going to try this foundation. There are foundations that I have that I really don't even have to wear a primer, and those truly, you don't need a primer. This one, I don't agree with. I'm definitely oily in the T-zone. I feel like my makeup is just kind of sliding off there. But then in other areas, I look really dry, which is really weird and like not normal for foundations for me. Like all in here, like I look dry, and it's like sinking into like weird little lines that I really don't even have, but it's making me look like I have lines. It's really bizarre, but it's like real dry in here, oily in the T-zone. It's like caking up around my nose. Oh yeah, it's just not, I'm looking at my chin. My chin looks cakey. It's just like, what happened? I want to zoom in again so hopefully you can see what I'm talking about. You can just see kind of like around my nose area, it's kind of cakey. This T-zone area is like really, really greasy right now. And then, like I said, in this area, I don't know if the camera is going to pick like these little details up, but in this area right here, and the same on this side too, just all in here is like extremely dry. Can you see how it's kind of like getting into like weird little lines? Like, no, come on. Even in like these like smile line kind of areas around your nose, it's just like cakey and clinging to weird things, and it's just not good, you guys. Hopefully it's coming across on camera. Let me know if you kind of see what I'm talking about, but no good. I'm so bummed about this foundation. I had such high hopes for it, but I'm definitely not going to be buying the full size of it for sure. I'm so glad that I got to test out the sample first, because I'm not buying the full size. I would never use it. I have such better foundations, ones that last me all day long, like 16 hours plus, that just keep me flawless all day. I also have ones that are more skin-like than this and that are more full coverage than this. I don't think this is full coverage. I would say it's like medium to full, but I truly have some full coverage foundations that still look flawless, that still look like skin, and this is not even like holding a candle to those. So like I said, this is a pass for me. This is a no-go. I'm trying to think who it might even really work for, because if you have oily skin, definitely use a primer first. You're definitely gonna have to blot throughout the day because you do feel oily and greasy. But then it says it's good for dry skin too, but I don't see it really working for dry skin because it's really super drying on me in certain areas and catching to certain, areas on my skin and looking a little cakey and patchy. So for dry skin, I don't think you really have a chance with this foundation. My recommendation would be get a sample first. This is not a foundation I can say is like so flawless and so amazing, and if you have this or this type of skin, it's gonna work for you. Like, I'm left feeling like this is a very odd foundation. So anyway, that's it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. I hope it helped you out. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new to my channel as well, but that's it for today's video. I will see you next time. Bye.